Imagine the sharp scent of drugs mingling with the smell of rusted iron and dampness. A place where the moans of humanity intertwine with the barks of dogs that have themselves become addicted. This is Afghanistan, in the heart of darkness, where the Taliban have named it a rehabilitation center for addicts. But behind these walls, healing has no meaning. Men who once may have sought only a morsel of bread or a moment of forgetfulness now sit in smoke-filled, beaten cells, waiting for liberation. A liberation that comes not through overcoming addiction, but through complete silence. The bitter reality of these prisons is something beyond news, a living nightmare for those whom society has forgotten. In a country where the soil is stained with blood, poverty, and despair, addiction spreads quietly and insidiously like a virus. Afghanistan, after decades of war, is not just a wreck of buildings, but a wreck of humanity. Young men who were once soldiers, workers, or fathers now bow their heads in the corners of streets with glazed eyes. Women who hide their addiction in the shadows of social shame, and children who recognize smoke and pain from their earliest years of life. After reclaiming power, the Taliban decided to treat this painful visage in their own way. However, treatment in the Taliban's vocabulary means something different. They round up addicts from the streets, not with a gentle hand, but with batons, threats, and humiliation. Then they take these broken individuals to places they call rehabilitation centers, which, in reality, resemble solitary confinement prisons more than anything else. In these centers, hundreds are imprisoned in cramped, polluted spaces. They have no detox medications, no psychological counseling, no proper nutrition, not even clean water. The method of detox is coercion, absolute coercion. Anyone who bends from pain is beaten. Anyone who faints has cold water splashed on them to wake up. Anyone who screams has their lips sealed with imposed silence. In the midst of this anger, there's an even stranger narrative. The Taliban have enlisted dogs to search for drugs. Yet these dogs, too, have become addicted in the polluted environments of the prisons. Dogs that were once tasked with finding substances now roam the edges of cells, with red eyes, panting, in search of the very poison that has destroyed humans. Their image is a painful metaphor for the cycle of corruption and failure, a system that even sickens its animals. But the reality of these prisons is not limited to physical violence. In these places, the essence of humanity is crushed. Those who enter are no longer merely addicts. Over time, they lose the sense of being human. Rehabilitation should fundamentally be a return to life, not a practice of death. However, in the Taliban's perspective, rehabilitation means control, obedience, and the elimination of weakness. They view the sick as sinners, not as individuals in need of help. Many Afghan addicts are victims of circumstances, not of their own choices. Poverty, war, migration, and depression have all conspired to make drugs an escape. When there is no hope for work or a future, when the sounds that echo are only those of gunfire and explosions, drugs become a refuge for the forsaken. Yet these individuals, in Taliban prisons, are tortured once again in the name of justice, instead of receiving treatment. Accounts from within these rehabilitation centers reveal that some prisoners are left in the cold winter air without blankets or food. Many endure excruciating pain for days as their bodies crave the toxins but have no means to alleviate the suffering. Some in the corners of their cells mumble prayers, perhaps for liberation, perhaps for forgetfulness. And sometimes a heavy silence reigns, a silence that only arises from the corpse of hope. Amidst this horror, a few of the guards may not have completely lost their humanity. One secretly brings clean water to the prisoners. Another allows them to breathe fresh air for a few minutes. These actions are small, but in a place where absolute darkness reigns, even the slightest light holds immense significance. The Taliban claim that these prisons are a step towards saving society from addiction. Perhaps on the surface, this seems true. The streets become devoid of addicts, creating a promotional image of a cleaned society. Yet the reality behind the curtain is something different. There is no treatment, only repression. There is no humanity, only violence. Imagine in this prison, a man sits quietly, his trembling hands resting as his eyes gaze at a cracked wall. He remembers his daughter, whom he was separated from years ago due to the war. Perhaps he hopes to be free one day, but even if he is liberated, will he be free from pain? Will the society that punished him be willing to embrace him again? Or will he remain forever in the shadows as a former addict? In the Taliban's narrative, addiction is a crime, not an illness. However, the modern world has long understood that addiction is not a sign of moral weakness, but a silent cry of human fragility. Amidst poison and suffering, the sick should return to the embrace of life, not the chains of obedience. This understanding has been obliterated in the Taliban's prisons, an understanding that has been replaced by judgment and humiliation. Each time images of these prisons circulate, the world is shocked for a moment and then forgets. It's as if the pain of Afghanistan's addicts is merely a headline for a day, and not a wound that needs healing. Yet behind this forgetfulness, hundreds of souls burn in the shadows, wailing and fading away. Some of them may no longer even have names. They are just numbers. They are merely statistics. If we look at this situation from the outside today, we might say that the Taliban acted with the intention to help, but the outcome is precisely the opposite. Treatment has vanished, and humiliation has taken its place. The reality is that no society can cure an illness with wits and prisons. Addiction can only be treated when human respect is restored. We cannot simply watch from afar. Every time these stories are heard, they must become a voice against the silence that the Taliban have constructed with their walls. This video is not just a report. It is a cry for those who are tortured under the guise of treatment. If this truth moves you, share it, talk about it, write about it, and do not let the world forget again. No nation builds healing by silencing pain. Only when we hear the voices of the voiceless does true healing begin.